Hey everyone, it is Saturday, April 9th, about 10:30 in the morning. It is currently about 63 degrees Fahrenheit, so it feels pretty good. We've had a really windy week, but the wind is calm right now, so we're going to do a hive inspection. But before we do that, I wanted to show you guys a couple of examples of the forage that we have available right now for the bees. So right here you can see that we have the eastern redbud that is in full bloom. We have these all over in the area. The other trees have not started to bloom yet. These are mostly oaks right here. I do have some elms and a couple other things on the property. And there's one more tree that I'm going to show you that we have blooming heavily in the area right now. So this is the other main source of forage that we have right now here in central Oklahoma. This is a Bradford pear tree. It's got white flowers. And they're pretty trees. They look really nice when they're in bloom like this, but they are not very wind tolerant, which isn't good for central Oklahoma, and they're kind of messy. So as you can see, as the blooms start to fall off, it just leaves these white petals everywhere, and they actually don't smell very good. So, but yeah, the redbud and the Bradford pear are the two main sources, and they're not major flows or anything, but they do a little bit for the bees right now. All right, everyone, so now we are out here at the hive, and we're going to go ahead and start that inspection that we talked about. So give me just a second to get this lid off, and we'll see what's in the top box. The goals for this inspection are just to kind of see what the bee population is looking like, make sure they're still expanding, make sure the queen is still laying, and make sure that they still have room, and just kind of keep an eye on their stores. So let's get started. A lot of bees right here on top, right when I took the lid off. Go ahead and set this lid right here. Grab my hive tool. Yeah, there's a lot of bees in this top box compared to what it was a few weeks ago. A lot more bees. All right. All right, let's look under here and see if we have any swarm cells. There's one queen cup I need to look into. A couple of queen cups. Okay, so that's empty. Empty. All right, so we have two empty queen cups on the bottom of that. The bottom of this box. I mean, you can see the bee numbers here. It's a lot. That's the upper box. The upper box was basically empty a few weeks ago. So we'll set that there. Get my frame holder. And start checking some of these frames. There's a lot of moisture in this hive. A lot of condensation I'm seeing right here. Not sure why. There's no feed in here. I guess because it got so cold last night. Last night it got down to about 36 degrees, but that was our last night in the 30s, so. All right, we're at a brood frame right here. There's some drones that have emerged. So a lot of baby bees in here. See what the other side looks like. There's a lot of open cells in the middle and capped drone around, but she's already gone through and backfilled. There's young larvae. I'm just looking for some eggs. Yeah, there's some eggs. So queen's still in here, still laying. Checking the bottoms of these frames, making sure we don't have any swarm cells. I don't know why they would swarm. They got a lot of room. Let you guys kind of have a look at that. Basically all those frames have eggs or young larvae if they're not capped. So same thing on this side. As you can see as well, they've completely finished all the pollen sub that was in here. So they're not going to get any more pollen sub. There's a good pollen flow now. So the next time they'll get a pollen sub will be later in the year when there's a dearth. This frame looks a lot like the last one. It's got a mixture of brood that is emerging and hatching right now, and then a lot of young larvae and eggs where she's gone through and backfilled, the ones that have emerged. Same thing on this side. I mean, these frames are full of brood all the way out to the edge on every corner. And there's just random drone cells here and there, like that one right there. And the bottom of it looks good. We don't have any swarm cells. So 2 full frames of brood so far in this bottom box. This is all pollen. Windy. So that's a little weird. So the orientation is this way. The brood nest is on this side. This is all pollen or bee bread right here on this side, but then on this side of the frame, it's all eggs and young larvae. The queen has just started to lay on this side over here, so there's a little bit of pollen, a bee bread between the brood nest, which I guess is fine. I just haven't seen them orientate it that way before. I'm sure it's normal. Okay, so that makes me wonder now if this frame here has some brood on it. Come on. Nope, so this is another frame full of bee bread and pollen. So now it kind of makes more sense why they put more brood right there, right next to it. And then that last frame is empty. So I still have 2 empty frames in this box. So 6 of the 8 in the bottom box are being used. We've got 2.5 frames of brood. And then the top box is pretty packed as well. I'm going to put this back together and then get into that top box. I didn't see the queen. I really didn't look that hard for her, but I saw eggs, so that was good enough for me. She could very well be in the top box. And I would guess as soon as I put this top box on and start pulling frames out, she's going to dive down and go to the bottom box. So I probably won't see her today. Oh, come on. Stuck on the inner cover there. Okay. That's an empty frame. That one's not even fully drawn yet from last year. This frame is full of nectar or sugar syrup, whichever. I haven't fed them in about a week because there is a little bit of a nectar flow right now. And we're already on to brood right here, so the brood nest is further over in this box. You can see that. Good amount of brood on both sides. Trying to see if there's eggs where they've emerged. This has actually this is just better comb, so there's no black foundation here, so it makes it a little harder to see. But I don't think it doesn't look like she's gone through and started to backfill. Okay. So that's one full frame of, well, medium frame of brood. Might be 3 frames of brood up here. So they got some drone comb there at the bottom of that frame. Everything that has emerged up here has started to be backfilled. I see eggs on this frame. Yeah, there are eggs all over on this frame, so queen's been here recently. Oh, there's already 3 over there. Okay, so that's number 2. So 2.5 deep frames of brood, 2 full medium frames of brood so far. This is completely full of brood as well. Up there's the queen. She's walking around right here. see that. Queen right there. Okay. Yep, full of brood, full of brood. She's backfilled. Okay. So that's 3 full frames of brood in here. Where did she go? I don't want to smash her. There she is. She's at the top of that frame. So I'm going to put her right here and right up against that. Now she's out of the way. And let's see if we got a 4th frame of brood up here. That would be good. The more brood, the better. We got honey flow in about 3 weeks, a major one. Yep, there's another frame of brood. So she's definitely laying on more frames in this top box. Oh, there's another queen's cup that I missed. It's empty. Alright, so both sides of this frame brood. Got another angry bee here. Alright, I'm going to check one more frame and just see if there's a 5th frame of brood. I think this is probably syrup, it's really heavy. Yep, so no brood. Alright, I'm going to put it back together and then I will check in with you guys in just a minute. Alright everyone, that is going to conclude today's inspection. I am headed back to the garage to put everything away. I like the way that it's looking. We had 4 medium frames full of brood and 2.5 deep frames full of brood. They still have room to expand. Shouldn't have to worry about swarming for a little while. It's April 9th. Our honey flow really starts heavy at the very first week of May, from my understanding. So they still have nearly a full month to grow. So that population is going to be massive by the beginning of May. So I'm excited about it. They started off small, but it really kind of was to my benefit because I don't have to fight their urge to swarm or anything. And it looks like they're going to be peaking out population wise right at the right time. So I don't know, probably last week of April, I'll probably throw a honey super on there with a queen excluder and let them get to work. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.